One. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jennifer Urezzio, and welcome to Stories with the Divine. There are several times in my life that I can point to and say, here's proof that the divine knew who I was. And I feel it's so important for others to share their stories. The show is dedicated to providing a forum for those narratives. It is so important for you to know your conscious connection with your divinity. And today I'm talking with Eylish Philpott. And I'm so excited to talk to you because you're one of those people that are always experiencing these bits of synchronistic moments of divinity. So I love to hear what was like one of your pivotal moments when you were
Sure.
like, yeah, God, my verbiage, God knows who I am.
Thank you. Um, it was the time I'm thinking of was a time when I was not very consciously working on my spirituality, which kind of makes it even more special. I did grow up in Ireland, so obviously the whole Catholic community, going to church, blah blah blah, all that stuff. So when I moved to London, and it was like I was very anti-religion. Hadn't yet discovered spirituality. And when I did discover it, it was like, oh my God, this is what I've been looking for all my life. So, um, what happened was I had had a baby. I was on maternity leave from school. I was a teacher, high school teacher at the time, and really great maternity leave benefits over there. I was off for 7 months after he was born.
Oh,
Yeah. And went back. I had to go back. I had a week off and then 6 weeks till the end of term, and then I was off for the summer. So my husband and I discussed whether I was going to go back, whether I wasn't going to go back, and to maintain your full benefits, you had to go back for a period of time, which included the summer vacation, 12 weeks, I think it was. So we decided I was going to resign. So the first day back, I went into the headmaster and I resigned officially. Um, that day, I came home and my husband had been offered a job in New York as I was resigning from school. So we had the opportunity, because I was off for a week the next week, to literally go the next week to over here to check out whether we actually wanted to move or not.
amazing.
Yeah, we had a whole hoo-ha getting my son, the babies, visas and passports, but we got it done in a week. And we came the following week, and just to confirm that we were going to move, 6 weeks later, we moved to the United States.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And I knew when I was coming here that I was going to do something alternative. I'd just begun to kind of look into the alternative world. And I knew that this moving to America was going to be not only very beneficial for me, but I was finally going to get well. I hadn't been well for a lot of my life. So I just knew that, and it has proved so. So that
I,
was the big one.
and what I love about this story, which I think is really important, I've done several of these interviews, right? But what I love about this story is that knowing, yes, there was external experiences, but that knowing was an internal vibrational
Absolutely.
stance. And I think that's key. I think sometimes we're looking for the external, like, prove to me. But when you know it from the inside out, when you can feel that experience internally hum within you, there's
Yeah,
something so powerful. So, do you think that experience helped you propel forward in finding your energy work, your niche in life, your place as a master healer?
absolutely. No, totally. Because once I got here, I started looking fairly quick. I didn't have a work visa, so I couldn't work. So I was at home with the baby all day, and he was like 9 months old and not. Um, if you listen to, I love you, Ben, but you weren't an easy baby. So it was delightful, but he was on all the time, 24/7. So I had the opportunity to look at what was available. And what's available here at that time was different than what was available in England. In
Yeah.
some ways, England can be a lot more advanced. In some ways, stuff over here can be a lot more advanced. And I checked a few things out, but very early on, I connected with a rebirther, which is the main modality that I started training in. I did all the Reiki training and the little kind of checking out other types of energy work. But this was a connection that I made that I would not have made if I had not been living here.
It's amazing. It's like, you can clearly see like every stone on that path that occurred for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, but I also want to stress like sometimes we just don't see that clearly
Right.
until years later, and that's okay. Right?
Yeah. One of my kind of longer term pivotal miracle connections with God is I did get into rebirthing breath work. So it's a breath work technique, but it's very connected with birth, or was more so then. Um, but I'm the eldest of 9 children. My mother was always pregnant the whole time I remember. So she was always pregnant. There was always a toddler. There was always a baby in the house. So I was in that energy. And then when I was teaching in England, I was the new young teacher who would teach religion, or not religion, would teach sex and reproduction to these teenage kids. And because none of they were all older women
Right.
in the department, and it was a Catholic school. So they didn't want to teach that. It was a touchy subject. Whereas
What
I loved teaching it.
and what I love about this is I've known you for a while and I never knew you were a teacher. And this is just I didn't, and I love, since I've been a peanut, I've loved to sit at the table and listen to people tell stories, because in those stories there's so much information about them. There's so much knowledge that doesn't come up in everyday conversation.
Right.
So I love that. So I want to switch gears, and I want to talk a little bit about what you're doing now
Yeah.
and your overall kind of practices as a master healer. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I have trained in a lot of individual modalities over the years and over the last 20 plus years. And I've kind of gradually started integrating one into the other. Um, so different rebirthing obviously is one, soul language is another one, Akashic field healing, 13th after Chi. But now it's like I don't necessarily do a specific modality when I am working with a client. I am just working with the clients in a way that the energies are working for them. And sometimes it's as simple as merely having a conversation back and forth, but the energies are doing the work. And sometimes it's like, okay, let's do a little bit of breathing now for the next 10 minutes, or let's do a program for a Akashic field, or let's do a theta healing download, or whatever. So it's literally that integration of everything that I have learned to date. And the other piece is that I started teaching again,
Yeah.
which I love, obviously. And so I teach various healing modalities. And to the degree that I have programs that run for over a year. And the next step is teaching how to integrate all those modalities, because part of what my guidance was when I started the academy, which is what I was guided to call it, is that the future of healing is the integration of all modalities.
Yeah.
It's not individual, this piece here, this piece, but it's the integration of all.
Yeah.
So I'm following that path and seeing it where it brings me.
I love that. It's a giant cocktail of goodness, right? Like, you take a little of this, you take a little of that, and it's very then client specific, and it's a
Yeah,
not one size fits all. So I
yeah,
love that. Can you give out your website address, even though we'll have it in the show notes?
sure. I have 2 websites. The first one is Soul Healing Journey, so SOUL Healing Journey. So I have on there all the modalities that I advertise. And the second one is the Academy for Soul Healing, so www Academy for Soul Healing. And that has all the events and classes and trainings that I hold on there.
Beautiful. I want to thank you so much for sharing your story. I loved hearing about it. And I'm sure you're going to come back on to tell more stories.
Oh, for sure.
I love, it just, it's kind of like I get to see all of these new sides of you, and it just adds more layers to your depthness, which
Right.
is just amazing for me. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Everyone, you've been listening to Stories with the Divine. And if you're interested in having a deeper connection, you could go to my free gift at soullanguage.us/gift of purpose. Thank you very much, and bye for now.